Howdy Ags, had to get on here and drop you some news real quick. I'm out running and it's Saturday, so I'm doing 10. It's gonna be a while, but news just dropped that QB1 is out. Billy Lucci just announced that it will be none other than Haynes King. So what does this mean? First off, it means the season's almost there. Get excited, I cannot wait. And it has a lot of implications though. So you know that I was high on Max and have been and still am because he showed me some things that I thought were important, some things I didn't think Haynes King had, at least at the moment. Also, Haynes, had some things that he did last year that we weren't too fond of. Not that I had a wide gap between them. Haynes King, I thought, very quality quarterback all the time. However, I did have that opinion. So for me right now, what this is telling me is that Haynes has made the necessary growth. He has convinced Jimbo that he's done the things that he's needed to do. And I think I mentioned this on a video a little while back. Just a few notice scenes that came through when you're just looking at some basic film. Because you can't get anything too revealing if you're not at practice. But the deal is that you could see some things that he'd obviously made upgrades in with like his footwork, also a little bit of his throwing motion. The attention to detail was there. And so there was just some things that kind of gave you an idea, hey, he might be doing the things that are needed. So I definitely think that's taken place. I think Jimbo has got every confidence in him that he's going to need to get this team where they need to be. Second thing, this is probably be the more controversial part, but we're going to have an opportunity to see if Jimbo is actually going to come out and announce the exact same quarterback that's been released by our, say, number one source for Aggie News at this point. I'm not going to try and tell you that's me, but I have fun doing this. But still, those guys have been doing that for a long time. Much respect. So is Jimbo going to come out and is he going to contradict what Lucci has said? I'll give you a guarantee that's not going to happen. And so what that tells us is that Jimbo has total control of his program. And he doesn't have, any infighting going on. You don't see people throwing shots across and misinformation or just false things coming out. You've got a cohesive up and down situation. And Jimbo's presser told you all you need to know about that the other day. We had a presser, and if you watched it, it was about 7 minutes of nothing, of a background and a thumbnail or something, and all of a sudden it turns on, talk for 7 minutes. Every reporter there tries to ask who's QB1, and after that gets stymied for about 2 or 3, 4, 5 questions or whatever it was. You get a couple more questions and everybody's sitting there stunned, like, why did we have this press conference in the first place? Well, that's because Jimbo doesn't take his cue from anybody except him. And you take that to the bank. He's just like anybody else. He that owns their actions. He's not going to go off of anything else anybody tells him to do. So take that for what you will, believe what you want. We've all seen the signs, we all know what's going on, and that's where it's gonna run. I wouldn't have it any other way. I've been confident that's the way it's gonna go. I want people that know football making football decisions. Do you want something different? Of course you don't. That's why you're listening to me even more, in part because we have this alignment. So we know what we're actually trying to achieve, and it's not branding. We may know that maybe it's an underlying value that we're trying to get, but we're more interested in the wins, the W's, getting to the natty eventually. Sure, that's in large part territory that we haven't had a lot of experience in. That doesn't mean we're not committed to getting to it, and we are. And this tells me we are on our way, or at least giving ourselves the best opportunity for that to take place. That's really all I got to say about it. So look for Sam Houston State preview coming out tomorrow. I apologize for no shirt, but it's too dadgum humid out here, and that's the way it had to go. So until tomorrow and next week at the game, talk to you later. Thanks and gig 'em.